Have you ever met a girl that you tried to date, but a year to make love she wanted you to wait? Let me tell you a story of my situation. I was talking to this girl from the US nation. The way that I met her was on tour at a concert. She had long hair and a short miniskirt. I just got on stage dripping, pouring with sweat. I was walking through the crowd, and guess who I met? I whispered in her ear, come to the picture booth so I can ask you some questions to see if you're 100 proof. I asked her name, she said blah blah blah. She had 9-10 pants and a very big bra. I took a couple of flicks and she was enthused. I said, how do you like the show? She said I was very amused. I started throwing bass, she started throwing back mid-range. But when I sprung the question, she acted kinda strange. Because when I asked, do you have a man? She tried to pretend. She said, no I don't, I only have a friend. Come on, I'm not even going for it. This is what I'm going to sing. You got what I need, but you say he just a friend, and you say he just a friend. Oh baby, you got what I need, but you say he just a friend, but you say he just a friend. Oh baby, you got what I need, but you say he just a friend, but you say he just a friend. So I took blah blah's word for it. At this time, I thought just having a friend couldn't be no crime. Cause I have friends, and that's a fact, like Agnes, Agatha, Jermaine, and Jack. Forget about that, let's go into the story about a girl named blah 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 that adore me. So we started talking, getting familiar, spending a lot of time so we can build a relationship or some understanding how it's gonna be in the future. We was planning, everything sounded so dandy and sweet. I had no idea I was in for a treat. After this was established, everything was cool. The tour was over and she went back to school. I called every day to see how she was doing. Every time that I called her, it seemed something was brewing. I called the room, I got picked up, and then I called again. I said, yo, who is that? Oh, he's just a friend. Don't give me that. Don't even give me that. Just bust this. You got what I need, but you say he just a friend, and you say he just a friend. Oh, baby, you got what I need, but you say he just a friend, but you say he just a friend. Oh, baby, you got what I need, but you say he just a friend, but you say he's just a friend. So I came to her college on a surprise visit to see my girl that was so exquisite. It was a school day. I know she was there the first semester of the school year. I went to a gate to ask where was a dorm. This guy made me fill out a visitor's form. He told me where it was, and I was on my way to see my baby doll. I was happy to say. I arrived in front of the dormitory. Yo, could you tell me where is door 3? They showed me where it was for the moment. I didn't know I was in for such an event. So I came to a room and opened the door. Oh, snap! Guess what I saw? I felt a tongue kissing my girl in the mouth. I was so in shock, my heart went down south. So please listen to the message that I sent. Don't ever talk to a girl who says she just has a friend. Has a friend. Has a friend. Has a friend. Has a friend.
Hey kids, what time is it?
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, Come on now. Hot dance.
Well, hello there, hello there, hello there. Ah, so the purpose of this impromptu meeting is Shad, my man, good friend. I love Shad to death. Ah, a little dirt on my monitor there. Uh just got off his show and poor dude, I feel bad. So I want to publicly apologize to Shad if I was impolite and imposed on his show. Uh, I have to remember that, when I'm on screen with other folks that it's their show, not mine. But Shad had a great, great show. Miss Ellen, you know, always a pleasure. Uh, Shad, my man, had, like I said, he had a good show. He had Cuban on there. I got to meet Dub City. And you know me, I am always about, this is one thing I like about this YouTube, that I get to meet somebody different, new every day, you know. Uh well, what did I do? Anyway, yeah, I got to meet Dub City. Seemed like a very, very wonderful young man. I meant to tell him I love the grandfather clock in the background there. That was pretty cool. But uh I wanted to do this. I know it's, quarter till 11 my time, quarter to 12 East Coast. Everybody else do the math. But Shad had a great show. He really did. And I've probably upset and disgruntled a lot of people with my Shad talk, but you know what? My channel, my rules, I really don't care. But I will say, you know, if you don't agree with what I do, if you don't agree with what I say, if you don't agree how I act, if you just don't agree with all of this, it's okay. I promise you, it's okay. Uh, you know, I'm gonna be me. I am not going to cater to the masses. I'm gonna be me, you know. Uh, that doesn't give me license to be an a-hole, but it does give me license and jurisdiction to be me, you know. Uh, in my last live show, What's Up Wednesday, which was a couple of days ago, if those of you who watched to the end, hashtag Fly Girls, Miss Ellen, thank you. Apparently, Miss Ellen was the only one who watched it to the end. I kind of gave you a glimpse into uh, what makes the South Coast cane tick. Kind of gave you an insight to what makes me me. Other than the big boy cup, no pastel purple here, baby. It's all 32 ounce. If if y'all watched the Haynes Street Show today, yeah, it's still today. You notice that coach had a pastel purple cup, which is cool. That's fine. Hey, bro, you can drink out of whatever color cup you want to. You know, You can drink whatever you want to out that colored, whatever color cut. That's fine. It's cool. But me, I was raised on a 32-ounce thirst buster from the Circle K. That's how I'm gonna roll. But anyway, no, seriously though, shout out to Shad, you know, shout out to Cuban, and of course, I got to meet Dub City. Katie Alamon. Hello there. We have a new visitor. You poor thing, you. You don't know what you're in store for. Uh, okay, let me stop. Miss Ellen, it's always a pleasure. I enjoy having your company. Faith Family Football, as you know, F to the third power, baby. Ah, Miss Katie Allman, I guess we'll call you the I don't want to say nut lady because that would be just rude. But Miss Katie, welcome. Welcome. You don't know this is gonna probably be different for you. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, let me start off by saying, since we do have a visitor in the chat, I am Jordan Page, South Coast Kane, and this is Kane with the Camera 2.0. I am live from Sebastian Street at Hurricane Lane, and it's friggin' cold down here. Cold down here in South Louisiana. When it gets below that 60-degree threshold, it's cold. Anyway, so the purpose of this show is, like I said before, Shad. God, I love that dude. He had a great show, and I guess he had to get to bed, or maybe he had an episode of Murder She Wrote vis-a-vis E. Brown to watch. I don't know. That's fine. That's cool. But it was such a good conversation. I had more to say. More to say. Ah, oh snap! Look, coach, red, big red cup. Won't even fit on the screen. I got Coach Hayes in here. I got to be careful because I've already had like 3 of these big boys so far during Shad's show, and Coach and Faith and Ellen and all y'all. Y'all know how Shad is. Shad can be messy. But I will tell you this. The entertainment for foolishness posse is in full effect. Full effect. If you down with EFP, yeah, you know me. I don't know if too many of y'all were around when Naughty by Nature came out. That's one thing I have to remember, that, you know, I make all these, like my opening thing. I had, Biz Marquee, Just a Friend. I had that cassette, by the way. Most of y'all may not know what the heck I'm talking about. Shad, I thought you'd be in bed, dude. Ah, but I tell you what I'm gonna do. I tell you what I am gonna do, because I am what I am. Holy crap, dude, y'all are in for a treat tonight. I have the sponsor of the show here tonight with me in the room. Of course, the puppy dogs are attacking her, but it is the CEO, the founder of the sponsor of the show, Signature Stitches. Come on in, girl. Come on in, girl. Look, there she is. It is the one, the only, the CEO, the founder of the channel, the sponsor, Stacy Page. And of course, you have the children. Ah, yeah, she snuck in on me at the late hour. There she is. Say hello to Stacy, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
That's right. I do have a sponsor, and she's pretty hot. Plus, she's my wife.
Not a
So
wife. I do exist.
she's the woman that puts up with all this shenanigans. She allows me, she allows me to do this. So I'm a smart man. I know which side my bread and my butter is. You have anything to say to everybody on here?
Well, go Canes.
That's right. Right there. So she does, Miss Ellen. Stacy keeps me in check all the time. All the time.
I do my best.
She does great. So so I can hear you, take my earbud out. So as the main sponsor of the show, Stacy, uh what do you think about the show so far that you're sponsoring?
Oh, I think it's great. I'm glad that it makes my husband happy.
So yeah. Uh is there anything you would like to add to the conversation so far?
Well, I'm not sure what are we conversing about.
Oh, we're not conversing about much of anything. I just started.
Well, hello, everybody.
Yeah, this is the chat right here. Faith Family and Football wants to know how we met. Oh my gosh, this hasn't become Dr. Lonely
Oh
Hearts.
my.
This is an official visit by the major sponsor. Don't worry.
I'll let him tell that story another time. It's a long story.
But anyway, as y'all know, I just got off of Shad's show. I was making a guest appearance on Shad. I was talking good about the channel, by the way, boss. So man, we got seven. Looks like we got seven people chatting. We got Miss Ellen, Katie. I talked about you. Faith to the F to the third power. Coach Hayes. I hope you haven't got scared away. Shad, you're still here. I hope. Uh, but anyway, yeah, hey, you got to stay tuned, stay alert, stay tuned because you never know what's going to happen. I don't see anybody like, Coach Hayes or Shad have their major sponsor just show up in the studio, but I digress. So here we are. I have the sponsor. Just guest appearance, just show up. She must have flew in. She must have flew in on a helicopter. You know.
Definitely coming in hot down the driveway.
Oh, yeah, she was coming in hot. Hot on and it wasn't no helicopter. It was a Cadillac, baby. And you know how that Cadillac is. That Cadillac style. You can't beat that. You know, Mario got the helicopter, but
But Miss Stacy has the caddy.
she got the caddy, baby. but anyway, yeah, like I said, I was on Shad's show and it was a great show. As y'all know, Shad wasn't really too messy because between me and Cuban and Mr. Dub City, Shad didn't really get too many words in. So it was crazy. It was crazy. Uh anyway, yeah, and of course, I got the prettiest sponsor of anybody on YouTube right now. Uh, so I think Cuban, you were trying to chime in, but like I said, I had the boss here, the sponsor. I can't disrespect the sponsor, especially when she's that hot. You know,
Hey,
Cuban,
you
I
got
don't.
your dinner ready.
Oh, I know she got my food, bro. Food talks. But anyway, uh yeah, Shad had a good show, and the last thing we talked about is the Cam Ward. Uh Honestly, truth be told, since it's almost 11 o'clock Central, almost midnight Eastern, this time tomorrow night, Coach Hayes will have cinnamon dancing. It's just a shadow. Coach Hayes will have cinnamon and he'll probably be sipping from a pastel pink cup. Lord knows what color he'll have. After today, having the pastel purple. Hey, bro, whatever makes you happy, coach. I'm not judging, bro. You know, just takes a real man to drink from a pastel purple, but it's cool. Ah, so with Shad, we were talking about the defense, and you know, oh yes, Shad.
He could be drinking out of like a Florida Gators.
Ooh, y'all heard that? It said it could be worse. He could be drinking out of a Florida Gators cup. That's my girl. She knows what time it is. But here's the thing. Shad, his show earlier was talking about the defense. And personally, Cuban asked the question Wednesday night in my Wednesday What's Up show that everybody's talking about the offense. Everybody's talking about how many wins Miami gets, but nobody's talking about the defense. And Cuban asked me the question, you know, who's on defense? And I went blank. My first thought is, oh my God, I'm gonna get my Canes card revoked. The fan police is going to come out and say, dude, you're not a real fan. You don't have the roster memorized, etc., etc. But I will tell you this Cuban got me thinking, as always. That's why I love Cuban. Cuban makes you think. Whether you love him or not, Cuban will make you think. And he asks excellent questions. And it got me thinking, everybody's talking about the offense with Cam Ward coming in. How many wins is the team going to have? Everybody's talking like 9, 10 plus, but nobody's talking about the defense. And, Shad come in. He had his show tonight about the defense. And, it's like, great minds think alike. Cuban and Shad. I know they like water and ink sometimes, but they do get along. And it actually got me thinking. I'm like, damn, I fell for the trap again. And that I got so keyed up on all this offensive stuff that I didn't think about defense. And do yourselves a favor, rewatch the Shad episode from like, I don't know, Shad, what was it, like an hour ago, 30 minutes ago? I mean, Shad went more than 2 hours. That's impressive. That is growth. Shad went almost 3 hours on his channel. But anyway, why am I muted? Uh, but there were some things that we discussed, and vis-a-vis, Shad finally evolved to the offense because, the other night I had Wednesday night, What's Up Wednesday was I had like 12 questions, 12 topics. I don't remember how far it got, but it basically dealt with Cam and the offense, you know. But um honestly, truthfully, as much as as much as I like having Cam come to Miami, but the question I asked is, why doesn't Miami need Cam Ward? You know, uh, if I seem a little nervous, it's because the CEO is kind of checking things out, and I'm kind of scared. I just want to make sure I'm on the up and up because if I lose my sponsorship, I'm off the channel, dude. You know, and if the CEO of Signature Stitches is not happy, I sleep outside. And the thing is, it's cold as hell down here in South Louisiana. I don't want to sleep outside. But anyway, um, here's my thing. And you know, I really wait a minute, hang on. How rude of me. If anybody, I don't know if I did this already. I think Cuban was trying to come on, but he jumped off because the CEO showed up and he got scared. I don't know. Uh she's harmless if she doesn't have a gun in her hand. Nah, I'm just joking. I'm joking. Uh nah, F to the third power. She knows when it comes she knew when it came to me, it was about the you. That's what I am. But if she says shut it down, I have to shut it down. What? Look at this. Look at this. She's throwing the you up. What? You know what they say? A family that YouTubes together stays together. But anyway, let me. Oh no, you're not distracted. Well, I mean, you are distracting me, but pause. Uh, these folks aren't used to such a pretty face on here besides me. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That woman loves me. And she sponsors my show. Anyway, so in regards to Shad, the last thing, yeah, Cuban. Hey, bruh, it's cool. Uh we got kind of got on the topic of Cam Ward, and uh faith, family, and football. Yeah, I actually bought her a Leonard Fournette jersey when we were courting. Okay, so yeah, yeah, she she's from what I she says she's an LSU fan unless they're playing Ole Miss. So take that for what it's worth. So all right, she's gonna tell you what she said. How about that? How about what you couldn't hear? She said, yes, she is an LSU fan, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But she's also wants to see Alabama get anybody who beats Alabama. So, and we all know that hasn't been Miami since 91, 92, 89, 89. Yeah. So
But I have grown to love Miami.
that's right. She's grown to love Miami. I wonder whose fault that is. Ah, so and Cuban, welcome to the show. You
No,
know,
I'm here. I'm in the
I
background.
I love your intellect. I love what you brought to Shad's show. Now I can't speak for Shad. You and Shad are gonna have to work that out, but I
No, I
love what
love
you
Shad. Oh no, we talking
I
about. I love
know,
Shad.
I know, I know, I know, I
Now,
know.
Shad the Twitter guy is a different person. Shad the YouTube guy is a friendly guy. Shad the Twitter
Yeah.
is two different people.
Right, 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 right. But, you know, when we dismissed from Shad because I don't know if he had to watch Murder She Wrote or go to bed. I don't know. But Shad only does like 2 hour shows regardless. But the ending of Shad's show, we were talking about Cam Ward and the fact that if he, for lack of a better term, shits the bed, okay, does Mario and or the coaching staff pull him?
Is it
You know,
midnight yet on my time? I don't know where if once it strikes midnight, then I could get rated X and not rated X, rated R with
hey,
my
hey, hey,
comments.
Cuban. I don't care if it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You have carte blanche service on my channel. Okay. I want anybody and everybody to speak their mind. I want you to tell me what you think. I don't care. Tell us.
Coach Hayes has fake room. Fake. First of all, Coach Hayes owes me some money for today's show. He went over 1 hour. I
Well,
see his
well, well.
comp.
Okay,
Coach,
hold up.
because Coach Hayes. All right, so this is Coach Hayes. Coach Hayes. This is Coach Hayes. He says guys. We're only gonna be here 1 hour. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, and we're still on the show. So Coach Hayes always lies to us, his fan base, that he's gonna be on the show for 1 hour. Then we're here for a good 10 hours.
Well, hold up, Cuban. In all fairness, I'm not playing favorites, but Coach Hayes didn't start. He said, it was scheduled for 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock Eastern, but he ain't start till like 7:20.
Right.
So technically, he had 20 after the hour to finish. You see where I'm getting at? It's kind of like a game Coach Hayes plays. Okay. He says he's starting at the top of the hour, but he doesn't start till like, 10, 15, 20. So he can extend an hour after that. So technically, he really didn't go over. Again, not taking sides. Hey, Bryce, how you been, man? I saw you were if I'm not mistaken, I think you were in the driver's seat the other night, you know. Now Coach Hayes says he was a minute over. But
Hey,
hey, bruh, I am not gonna judge anybody's channel, you
Coach
know.
Hayes is on.
What's that?
Coach Hayes is here.
Yeah, Coach Hayes is here.
Oh,
The Coach
I'm
Hayes.
fangirling.
That's right. Yeah, Coach. I kind of told the CEO about you mentioning me on your channel and how great and prestigious the Coach Hayes football channel was, and the CEO was very impressed that her the person she's sponsoring was mentioned. But anyway, Cuban.
yeah,
Uh let's bring this back here.
yes.
So the last thing we talked about on Shad was basically if Cam be pulled if he isn't whatever.
Okay, so to answer that question, will he be pulled? I hope I I hope he will. I don't want him to get pulled, but I hope Mario learned from last year when a QB needs to get pulled, pull him. Don't play around because you can mess up the team morale. But again, like I said on Shad's show, he's a black quarterback. So I think he will get pulled. The fan base will get a little bit crazy and they're going to want him pulled only because he's a black man. But if he does mess up, I don't know his NIL deal. I don't know if his deal is no matter if I throw 10 interceptions in the game, I have to stay on. But it's that's a very tricky question. You asked me, I asked you a tricky question. This is a very tricky and sensitive question, if you ask me.
I've gotten back at you. I
Yep.
have learned. No, but I mean, you bring up a very good point. I mean, honestly, let's be honest, bruh. You know, me, if you was to ask me this question, I would say first off, they're paying way too much money for Cam right now. Okay. Second,
Hold
it all
on, I'm gonna get you back, George.
I
Jordan.
know you will. I know you will. That's why I love having you on here,
How
man.
much money is he getting paid? Where do you get this
Ah,
number from?
I'm just assuming, dude. You know what happens when you assume.
There
I
you go.
mean, I'm sure they didn't pay league minimum for him. Okay. Because what I'm getting at is, I mean, I'm sure he's not making the minimum wage, but I'm sure there was some. I mean, we all know that Cam was being what's the best word? I don't want to say pimped, but he was being basically he was being wined and dined. You know, the Rick Ross, the clubs, the this, the that. You know, I'm sure they promised him the world and the sky above. Okay. And then he decides he wants to venture into the NFL. And then finds out that he would only be whatever draft round. And then all of a sudden, he comes back to Miami. Now, you're right, Cuban. I don't know the exact dollar amount. Okay. I don't know if it was the 1 million, the 2 million. I don't know what it was, but my little bit of common sense that I have left tells me that if, Cam Ward, who's been wine and dined by everybody, maybe not to the extent of Miami standards, but to go from going to the NFL, then decided, no, I'm not. There had to been some kind of bait on that hook to entice him. Okay.
Okay.
Um, you
So
know, I,
go ahead, go ahead. No,
I'm,
so I have a question. So do you think we kind of rushed it because? So okay, this is my question. All right, let's say we did not sign Cam. How would you, head coach Jorn, allocated this money for the team?
I would have found some defensive players.
What
You know,
position?
oh, dude, well, it looks like, well, we need some linebackers. We need some defensive backs. You know, and what I'm not saying that the money was and of course,
No, no, I know
I,
it's not. I just want to
I
know if we did not, how would you have allocated that money and what positions? See, because
oh
this is
well,
my thing. So I'm a finance guy, right? So
right,
it's
right,
like
right.
if you're let's say he's getting paid 1 million, right?
Hmm.
It's like you're using this million for 1 year, right? Versus getting this million and getting a player that could have amounted to 3 to 4 years. It's
Right, right,
I'm not gonna
right.
say it's a waste of money. I just think it's not allocated correctly, right?
Oh,
Where you
it
could have had all these Bama players, right? Because I'm not an insider like you are, Jordan, but Mario's agent knew that Saban was going to retire, right?
right,
So
right,
if you
right.
know that, you kind of have to be a little patient and use that money to port to get some of these Bama players, these starting
Hmm.
Bama players. So
Right, right, right,
yeah,
right. And it doesn't. And now I will, for those of you who don't know, I will give a little, preface, a little context. But Wednesday night, Cuban asked, I was my show was basically geared towards 12 questions about, Cam Ward coming to Miami. But, Cuban asked the question, what about the defense? And I had nothing, but it made me think. So, you know, taking that plus what Cuban just asked, you know, now after the fact, yeah. I would take the money and allocate it towards something else. But it goes back to the same adage that I have talked about, we have talked about with the youth fellowship, that we don't know what the end game is behind closed doors. You know, when they started the season or when the season was over, I'm sure they had a meeting and said, "Okay, here's our shortcomings." But, Cuban, you bring up a good point, and I agree with it wholeheartedly that, if you're going to pay, let's just throw a mill just for the sake of argument, okay? If you're willing to throw $1 million at one player for 1 year, is that as business smart as throwing, say, 10,000, 20,000 for, you know, 5 players or 2 players for X amount of years? You see where I'm getting at?
Yeah, you could
And
have
it, and
got
it
200. You could have got 200 for 5 starting defensive players, right? And it's just, it's again, it's like the mismanagement of this program. It's like, come on, and the thing is, we need to follow the Bama, UGA, Michigan blueprint.
right.
If you
And
want to
again,
follow, sorry, go ahead.
no, no, no. I was gonna say, you're absolutely right. And I go back to Shad, and I'm not blowing smoke up. I'm not riding Shad's jock, but it's like he said, what does Michigan winning the national championship have to do with Miami? You know, and what's up, Price? Hang in there, buddy. You know, no disrespect to Cam. Okay, no disrespect to him whatsoever. But from a team perspective, from a business perspective, to me, there was nothing wrong with Jakari Brown. Honestly, there was. I mean, I'm sure he needed to learn and just kind of get his feet wet and get on the field. But from a money and get more bang for the buck, okay. Personally, instead of paying the money, allegedly, we don't know the amount, but instead of putting all your eggs in one basket over Cam Ward, okay, we could have gotten some linebackers. We could have got some defensive backs if available, like we talked about earlier. And, we could have, instead of having just one position, we could have taken care of multiple positions. Again, I'm not a fanboy of Jakari, but again, I don't understand where all this Jakari talk come from about him not being able to quarterback this team. I don't get it. And it really,
This is yeah.
when Tyler, like I said earlier, Cuban, when Tyler went to the land of brats and cheese and beer, all of a sudden the narrative was Miami has to get a portal quarterback. And I just asked myself, why?
This is my thing, and it's like you just. Uh, hey, Bryce. By the way, this is my. You have to know your personnel, right?
Right.
Mario, you are a clock management type of coach, right?
Hmm.
If you're a clock management, run the ball, you need to have a dominant defense.
Right. Right.
I would have focused on just building the best defense in college, in the ACC, and then in college football. I would
Right.
not have worried too much about Jacory or the quarterback position because I'm like,
Right.
I'm just going to get this defense where
Hmm.
max a team is going to score is 14 points, right? And I just, that's just my frustration. It's just and this is something that Shad brought up. It's like, what is the focus? What is the direction of this program? And I don't know. That's why I asked, rebuild, remodel, we're spread, or we're power.
Right.
What is this program? And I
And,
do not know that answer.
right. And Cuban, before I get to Bryce, it's like we talked about Wednesday. Miami has an identity crisis. And until Miami figures out what their identity is, they're wandering in a dark room. You know, they're in an identity crisis right now. They don't know what they are. Bryce, please, please, Bryce, give us some insight.
He's on mute.
He may have fell asleep. We may have put him to sleep. But anyway, until he comes on, Bryce, whenever you get unmuted, please just jump on in. But yeah, I don't, I know. There he is. Talk to us, Bryce.
Yo, you all hear me?
Oh, yeah, yeah. You in the driver's seat tonight, buddy?
No, not tonight.
Okay,
No, not tonight. And I would turn on my cam, but I'm
that's
chilling
okay.
in bed. I'm chilling in bed right now, and it's almost 12:30 where I'm at right now. So it's pretty late over here.
Hey, Brad, I understand. But like I said, Shad had a great show. And again, I didn't want to hijack his show out of respect, but there were still things I needed to talk about. And here we are. So basically, let me catch you up to speed, Bryce.
Yeah.
Uh, and for those who don't know, Bryce is the statistician for the U Fellowship. So that position has been filled. Uh, and he does a good job of the basketball coverage. Y'all need to go check out his channel. It's up in the check it out corner. Anyway, so Bryce, here's the deal. Wednesday night, I think you joined Wednesday night, but
Yeah.
I was talking primarily about Cam. I had all these questions and topics lined out, but Cuban threw me a curveball and he talked about the defense.
Hmm.
And so tonight, Shad had a show and he was basically talking about the defense because, Cuban enlightened me, as always, that, everybody's talking about Miami doing 9, 10 wins because of Cam and the offense, but yet nobody is talking about the defense. Well, we talked about it.
Hmm.
Okay. So,
Could I interrupt, John? I just want to see
of
Bryce's
course,
answer.
go
Bryce,
ahead.
name me the starting defense for next year.
Ooh, that's a great question.
I know.
There's a lot of guys that I can think of.
And that's the problem.
See,
It-
see,
yeah. You
see
see,
the,
Bryce, that's
here's
what opened my eyes and changed my thinking. I know it sounds crazy.
see,
Again, I'm
but here's the thing though. There are some guys that I can see starting. Obviously, one of them is going to be Ruben Vane, but then again, I only know that because we had some guys out last year due to injury. You know, Najee Kelly, Akeem Mesidor. I know there's some other guys that I'm probably forgetting. So in some ways, yeah, we could sit here and assume we know the guys that are probably going to be starting, but at the same time, we kind of don't. So, into Keegan Kane's question, like, yeah, it's a great question because we're kind of sitting here wondering, like, well, shoot. So yeah, I think I could agree with you, Jordan. He's got us on there.
right. And here's, in my opinion, here's the big unknown, the big variable in the equation is, we have a lot of young talent, a lot of new recruits coming in.
Hmm.
We don't know what the defense is going to be like. But again, everybody, when I say everybody, y'all know what I'm talking about. Everybody's geared on Cam coming to Miami, and Cam's going to solve all the problems with Mario, and Miami's going to get 10 wins or whatever. But again, thanks to Cuban, I'm going to keep giving Cuban the recognition for this, but nobody has talked about the defense. You
You
know,
mind if I ask a question?
sure, anytime, dude.
So here's my question to that though. Um, for either one of you, whoever wants to take this. I guess this would be more towards Cuban, I guess, since he asked that question about we have no idea who the starters are going to be. And I know that we shouldn't be assuming here, but are there any guys that we feel like that we may know that could still end up having a starting spot?
Well, I was told the rumor was that Mario is a recruiter, right? We are in year three and we don't have a Mario quote unquote safety yet. We don't have we have one Mario DB, we have a half of Mario linebacker, and we have one Mario defensive lineman. So the question is, it's where are all these recruits at, right? I was sold on that he was a power recruiter,
Hmm.
and we probably have three of his recruits playing on defense. So what's the deal with that?
Hmm.
And the thing is, Bryce, it's, I mean, you got to be honest. I mean, yeah, we know about, Mesidor and Bain and Basaint and all them, but
Hmm.
again, the point is nobody has talked about the defense yet. Nobody. I'm not saying that, we're not in chicken little syndrome with the defense. I'm not saying that, but the fact of the matter is that nobody knows. Okay, and nobody has really.
So,
Go ahead. But hey, before you start, Bryce, Shad says he's playing free safety, so everything's good. Never mind.
did he redshirt?
But I mean, you know, and of course, Miss Ellen, she wants to play. Hey, we'll let anybody play. No, but the thing is, Bryce, uh,
So I guess this would basically be our concern heading into 2024, I guess.
well,
Major
yeah,
concern.
yeah. I mean, and not say again, I'm not saying the defense ain't worth a flip. I'm not saying that, but
Yeah, we're not saying that.
it's just that it's very odd that nobody has discussed the defense, and that some Williams and Kitchens and Couch and they're all gone, and we have a
Hmm.
bunch of young players, a lot of inexperience, a lot of folks who haven't taken enough, a lot of snaps, haven't seen them on the field, so we really don't know.
Now,
There's a lot of
it,
more uncertainty and questions on defense as there is offense, even before Cam got here.
hmm it's funny that it's funny that we're now talking about this because the whole thing with our quarterback situation, and then obviously a couple guys that we did get, but I think everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, probably almost everybody, was so focused on the offensive side of the ball that we weren't even thinking about the defensive side of the ball. Because you make good points as well, Jordan. I mean, we got a lot of guys on there that hardly got any playing time last year or haven't even taken a snap here at Miami. So it's not to say that I don't trust Lance Guidry at all. I think he's
Right,
gonna have
right, right,
I think he's
right.
gonna have these young men ready to go. But it's definitely, I would say, it's definitely a concern heading in this season because we realistically don't know how well some of these guys are gonna play. And then I don't personally know out of the whole entire defensive room, talking, linebacker, DB, safety room. I don't know which one in that room is the concern right now. I would,
Well, it's good that you said that because Shad basically asked that same question. Uh, Me personally, I think to go from least worried to most worried, I would start with defensive line should be okay. I think the defensive line will be fine. My next, just me. The next concern I would have would be linebackers and then defensive backs, only because of the fact that again, nobody has really gotten any snaps. I had talked about and Shad brought it up that, like the Bethune Cookman game last year. Hey, Canes today, dude, I I almost needed you today. But, back in the Bethune Cookman game earlier last year, or I should say September of last year, there were some people like, well, why didn't Miami put 70 or 80 on Bethune Cookman? But my question is, why didn't we see more of the second and third string in the Bethune Cookman, even if Miami only scored 40 points? You
My
know?
yeah, my order of operation of need is defensive line,
Hmm.
safety, and cornerbacks. Because
Yeah, yeah,
when
yeah.
you saw when Leonard Taylor got hurt,
Hmm.
how much we missed him,
Right.
right? And we had to put Bain in a position where he was not comfortable. The next one is safety. That's the
Hmm.
most,
Hmm.
that's hey, if you don't have your safeties back there, just going to be touchdowns left and right. And we
Right.
have small cornerbacks, right?
Yeah, I
So,
know.
that is where my biggest concerns would be at. It would be number one, D line, because in football, if you don't have all good offense or D line, you're not going anywhere,
Right.
right? Then I'll say safeties, and then I'll go cornerbacks. But
Right. And Cuban, I often wondered, and I've thought about this for many years, but is there something against the Miami University of Miami bylaws and the athletic department and football that says we can't get anybody at cornerback over 6 foot 6'1"? Or is that just how they're making cornerbacks nowadays?
I don't know. Let me ask you this question, John.
All right.
Who? When was the last time we had a dominant cornerback? That's one thing that Miami
Oh,
has never been
man.
able to do good is we haven't been able to recruit good cornerbacks. Am I right or wrong about that?
Man, man, it's been at least I'm gonna go out and say 20 years.
But Kelly Jennings and Entre Roll,
Yeah, somewhere around that neighborhood. The actual tight Siamese twin type of cornerback on the receiver, and it's because here lately, I say here lately, but it's like this face guarding that the defensive backs do. I don't understand that because, you know, I don't know. But yeah, to answer your question, I mean, there's been, Entree Roll and Jennings, yeah, I agree. But it's hit or miss. I
That's
just don't get it.
yeah, that's amazing that Miami is the state of Florida is filled with all these great cornerbacks, and
Right, right.
we haven't been able to land any.
Right. And
That's
of course, Cuban from an athletic standpoint, yeah, I agree with you. But then again, I hate to play devil's advocate, as they say, but you know, are these kids even able to get in the university? But the fact of the matter is, yeah, it'd be nice to see Miami have a 6'1", 6'2" cornerback. I'm just saying. And I've been saying that for a long time.
that's just for me. It's crazy that we haven't been able to land one. I'm looking at Faith Family's line. Right, he has Bain, Clark, Marley, and Kelly. Right, that's
Mhm.
two Mario recruits. Kiko and Wesley. That's three.
Mhm.
And then if you look at the DBs, Porter, Savion, Powell, Brown, and Richards, that's
Right.
probably four.
Mhm.
That's yeah, it's just disappointing.
Well,
It's yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, no, 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 Cuban. I mean, you're right, Bryce. I'm gonna let you chime in just a second. Be patient. I mean, yeah. From what we're looking at on the surface, yeah, we may think so, but again, I'm really y'all just don't know how hard I'm trying not to have any preconceived ideas right now on the 19th or 20th, depending on where you're at in the country of January. You know, and again, please don't think I'm painting a black cloud picture of the defense, but it's really hard to make any yay or nay or either way until these young men get on the field and just show us what they're able to do. Ah,
Well, Jordan, it's not that we're being It's the thing that people are saying that we're going to win 10 games, right? And I'm like,
right,
how we're
right.
going to win 10 games? We don't even know what the defense is. We're not
And
knocking the defense. We're trying to
no,
find the rationale for
right,
winning 10 games. Everybody is saying, oh,
right,
because we have an easy schedule, but we
right,
play at Louisville, at Florida. That Deuce game's going to be pretty tough. Florida State comes over here, right? So it's like off the bat, we have
right.
four maybe games, right?
Right,
And
and you're right, Cube. I was one of them. I said, of course, going off the Cam Ward hysteria, I said, yeah, I should be able to get about 10 wins, but I didn't stop to think about the defense. So now I have started to think about the defense. Uh, and as of right now, I don't know. I'm not going to make any type of win claim. I'm not going to make any type of prediction. I think I'm going to do like I did at the beginning of the season. I'm just going to say I'm going to, postpone my judgment until, let me
spring,
see yeah,
the
spring.
spring game.
Let me see what's on the field, kind of get an idea for it. And then, we'll go from there. But I do take back what I've said before, not because I think I was wrong, but because I made an a judgment based on not bad information, but not really good information. So yeah. All right, Bryce, come on, talk to us, man. Bring us back. Tell us what's
Sorry,
going on.
I have one more trick question for Jordan. Sorry, Bryce.
No, you're
What
good, bro.
what would you say in the spring game? You see a dominant defense and a struggling offense.
Okay. First, it depends on who was on offense.
Ward starting on offense.
Well, honestly, my first impression would be, well, I guess the defense really isn't that bad. But then after that, I would be like, okay, okay, what did the offense not do?
Nothing.
Okay,
They
I mean,
couldn't move
you,
they couldn't run the
right,
ball,
right,
couldn't
right,
pass the ball, nothing. The
right.
defense was just
But
dominant.
again, when it comes to the spring game, though, it depends on what the coaches are trying to see because, you know, from, us fans, we see, offense, defense, X's, O, whatever. But again, the coaches may have wanted to see how does so and so react in such and such situation, or how does this. I guess you would have to look at the big picture. But I will say this to answer your question. I'm not going to pull a Shad and say, well, I don't do recruiting. uh, no, seriously, I think if the defense come out and dominated the offense in the spring, that was the question.
Hmm.
My first impression would be, damn, we wasted our time back in January. But then my next immediate question would be, all right, what's going on with the offense? You know what I mean? I would be surprised that the defense did good only because we didn't know. And then second, I'd be like, damn, what happened to the offense? We got Cam. We're supposed to win 10 games with that dude. Not being sarcastic, but that's what we hear. All right, Bryce, jump in. Jump in. Come on, dude. Put your elbows out.
You know what's funny about that question though? Like Cuban asked you. So basically, you know what it's gonna remind me of? It's gonna remind me of last year where our defense had to carry the offense.
Oh yeah, and that topic was brought up in Shad's show. So yeah, I mean, and Bryce, real quick, I mean, for how many years or how many seasons has the defense had to carry the water bucket for the offense? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like I know defense wins championships and the offense sells tickets, but you know, so talk to us, Bryce. Give us your thinking on whatever.
See, the to kind of answer the question, the last question that Cuba gave to you, it, it's hard. It's hard to say, especially in the spring game, because I feel like at that point you're just trying to get a feel for how the offense is going to look, how the defense is going to look. Don't get me wrong. I think every Canes fans would be ecstatic to see a dominating defense.
Ooh, but then they're gonna be really mad about we
Yeah.
paid Cam all this money and we look.
Well, that and also
What?
a lot of Canes fans are going to start looking at Dawson again. Not that they're saying they're not looking at him now, but it's like, yo, I understand the play calling is going to be vanilla in the spring game, but is this what we're going to be expecting once it gets to actual game time?
Well, I mean, you gotta take the spring game for what the spring game is.
Yeah, exactly, and
You know,
that's what I'm saying because
and
you,
unfortunately, you know, most of these Canes fans won't do that. And then plus
mhm,
on top of that, you'll have a lot of these social media cats that'll just jump on that and create more hysteria.
yeah,
But continue, Bryce.
yeah, and it's funny because it's
Hey
like
man, speak your mind, dude. Speak your mind. We're starting to venture into the game with the camera unfiltered. So
yeah, so it's like you bring in Cam Ward, you know, God knows who knows how much money we're paying the man.
right.
Whatever. I mean, he struggles. Then you put in Jakari. or even let's just say we put in Poffenbarger.
Right.
Now you're playing the QB hokey pokey
Right.
again, which and it's like we're not trying to do this. We're not trying to keep doing this, man. We're trying to find that guy, you
Right.
know. So and we don't know. Like we don't know what the heck's gonna happen
Right.
this year
Right.
because we still need to see it with our own eyes. But like playing just hypothetically speaking here, if that were to happen, like if our offense comes out in the spring game and we're just again, I know you got to take it for what it is because it's a spring game, but if we're just like lackadaisical, just no energy, nothing, like why in the hell did we go out and get Cam Ward for this
Right.
when we could have just said, okay, JB, here's the keys, go after it, go do it. But then again, I know it's not just a quarterback that's got to do it all. Football's a
Right.
team sport. You got to get all your other guys involved. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to say because again, I keep reiterating and repeating the dead horse here, but it's a spring game. You got to take it for what it is. But yeah, I mean, as far as and then jumping back to since nobody's been talking about the defense, well,
Hmm.
obviously we've been talking about it now.
Right.
I mean, I didn't even really think about the defense because we've been so fixated on Cam Ward and this offense and I know we picked up some guys out of the portal with Riley,
Hmm.
Powell, Cook. Not saying those guys aren't good additions to the team, but it's like, oh crap, it's like I didn't even really think too deep in how our defense is going to look
Right.
heading into
Right.
next year because you no longer have Kitchens, you don't have Williams, you don't have Corey Couch,
Right.
so
And again, I, you know, Wednesday night, I had all this lined out about Cam and stuff, and like I said, Cuban come up with the question about, he wanted me to tell him who's on the defensive roster, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks, dude. It's like, oh shit. And then it hit me again like, oh shit.
mhm,
First off, it hit me because damn, I don't know. And then it hit me again because I was enlightened in that, I don't want to make Cuban's head any bigger, but it hit me that, you know, damn, nobody's talked about this. And it all came together, and I thought, wow, we're so geared on Cam and the offense that nobody thought about the defense. And I mean, again, I'm not trying to start a Chicken Little syndrome by no stretch of the imagination, but it is something to talk about.
mhm,
Now, and I'm telling you right now, straight up. I mean, I know it's you know the 20th on your side of the world. It's still the 19th where I am. I think Cubans chilling in L.A. on a business trip, so it's like I don't
yeah,
know, almost 10 o'clock or
yeah,
something like that.
No, I'm in New York right
Oh,
now.
you're in New York, so you're
Right now.
already into tomorrow. You're in the
Yeah.
future. I'm in
Yeah.
the past.
I'm
So
building a
I'm
farm here with farming simulator, so that's why I'm a little bit quiet.
so I'm going on record right now, and y'all can record it. Y'all can get your receipts. I don't care. But I really don't think Miami needed Cam Ward in the grand scheme of things. And what I mean is, all this energy devoted to getting a portal quarterback, which I don't understand where all that started from. Okay. Maybe maybe Jakari may have needed a little locker room presence, I don't know. But I really think Jakari would be okay for this team. Kind of like what they used to do in college football back in the day where, Jakari's a sophomore and learns his way through and gets experience. And no disrespect to Cam Ward, but this team, Miami, has greater needs, in my opinion, until proven otherwise. We have other needs besides the quarterback position is not going to make or break this team in 2024. In other words, Jakari can get us to 12-0. Patience, hang on where I'm going. Jakari can get this Miami team to 12-0 just as good as Cam could get it 12-0. And it all depends on the defense.
Yeah. Jordan, could you read Katie's or Caddy's question?
Oh, where is it? Is this it right here? Where Faith, I'm upset
That one.
because no,
That one, yes, that one.
that was it. Okay,
Yeah.
appreciate you taking control of this channel for me. Uh Miss Katie, again,
Katie, yeah.
welcome to the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. She says, she tells Faith, F to the third power. I'm upset because all of this is to save Mario's ass. If he can develop his own recruits, why the hell is he our HC? Recruiters that can't develop, win, or coach aren't worth squat. Hey, I I agree with you.
And that's yeah. The reason why I
You
brought
know,
that, I asked you to bring that one up, is because Kirby Smart fooled everybody, right? When
yeah,
when he had a rant against UF, like, hey, in order for you to win, you have to recruit well. And
hmm
this is my thing. You think any successful person's really going to tell you what it is or what you need to do to be successful, right? And you have
right,
fell into that trap that
right,
you have to recruit, recruit, recruit. And it's like, no, you need to develop, develop, develop. If you can't develop, your recruiting doesn't mean squat. Look at
right,
Texas A&M, right? Texas A&M had the greatest recruiting class ever according to the recruiting industries, and nothing, because
right,
Jimbo was not able to develop. If you cannot
right.
develop your players, that whole recruiting stuff does not matter.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
Shad said,
like,
yeah, like Shad said, Kirby got Mullen canned. And it's like UF was so dumb. It's like UF literally played Alabama 2 years ago when Mullen was there, and they fired him the year after. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, he's doing a good job. Just go hire
right,
a recruiter on his staff to recruit, and you're good to go.
right.
Because Mullen could develop players, but that's one thing that a lot of fan bases get tricked by Kirby. Kirby
And
is not going to tell you how to win a
right,
national championship.
right. And to your point, Cuban, and to Miss Katie point, the same thing happened to Miami back in the early 2000s. Coker the Choker took over after Butch left. And basically, Coker and his staff, in my opinion, just relied on the stars from the recruiting services. They recruited stars and just let the stars dictate what these kids do. In other words, again, I talked about it earlier in Shad's show. Arthur Brown. At the time, he was like the number one linebacker, the number one recruit at the time back in, what was it, like 04,
No, it wasn't '04. It was
oh three, oh
no,
six?
it had to be 10 or something when because Randy Shannon was
No,
the
no, no,
coach.
no, no. It was before that.
No, Randy Shannon was the coach. He got Arthur Brown, and then the next year he tried to get his brother, because he got Remember the year that he got the guys from Northwestern, and then the next year he got the guys from Sanford. Then the year after that, he tried to get
Right, right.
Arthur
And
Brown.
that's right. But and from the Coker to that, I mean, it's like there was no, and I remember saying this back then. It's like there's no development. I just use Arthur Brown, but yeah, I mean, there was just no development. It's like just recruit them on stars and let the stars win the game. And in fact, there was no, they weren't developing anybody, you know, and again, even today, you can get the the Jaquan Pattersons and stuff that are 5 stars. But if you don't do anything with it, what do you gain? All right, Bryce, come on, talk to us. You haven't said anything. We haven't allowed you to say anything, so I'm gonna allow you to say something now. Please bring us some sanity to all this craziness, man. Tell us something good.
Well, I mean, there are positives to look at here. Like how you mentioned earlier. Like, did we really need Cam Ward? No, not really. But at the same limelight, I know everybody wanted him, and to be honest with you, at the time, nobody really knew what Chikari was gonna do. We didn't know if he was gonna go in the portal. We didn't know if he was gonna stay. We didn't know. So in some ways, yeah, I felt like we still needed a quarterback out of the portal because that's what, again, most Canes fans wanted. Not, I'm not speaking for every Canes fan, but most Canes fans wanted, and we needed depth in that room to begin with. You know, because your only quarterbacks in that room at that time would have been Chikari, Emery, and then Judd. You would have only had 3 quarterbacks. Technically, you still had Jaden George, the walk-on quarterback, but he's already in the portal, so he's gone. So now you have Cam Moore, Reese Poffenbarger, Chikari Brown, Aaron Williams, and now you got Judd coming in. So now you have a quarterback room with depth. I still feel like, I think we still should have gave the keys to Chikari, personally. You know, I would have been okay with it. But then again, I feel like, I feel like there's going to be competition there, but at the same time, I feel like I'm lying to myself when I'm saying that because I feel like we all know it's going to end up being Cam Ward for QB1. And it's probably going to be Chikari Brown for QB2.
Well, and that's a good point. What you say, Dub?
Uh oh, here we
Oh,
go. Here we go, Dub.
What's good,
Here
baby?
we
What's
go,
good?
Dub.
so
What's good?
so I
I was waiting
guess
for it.
I guess, and you make a great point, Bryce. And again, nobody's right, nobody's wrong, but you know, you make a great point, Bryce. But my question is, would
See,
would Miami really been any
see,
worse off if they would have kept just Jakari, Emery, and Bryce? Because maybe I'm old school. Maybe you kids and your fancy record players today think different, but there was a time where if you had, you know, a red shirt sophomore, is that what Jakari is, plus a freshman and a true freshman, that was kind of like, okay, this is our, let's see, rebuild year, And I guess it's kind of a testament to where or how college football has evolved. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, again,
See,
I hate to bring up the history lesson, but there was a time in Miami football where a true freshman lost to Florida in the first game, but everything worked out. But uh,
Jordan, can I
you
also
know,
say this too?
I mean, I'm again, please don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not saying the Cam Ward thing was a total bad decision. I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to get some thought provoking conversation on,
Yeah.
did we
No.
really need to spend the money,
Hmm.
assuming Cuban, on the Cam, or could we have gotten more bang for our buck?
Right.
And since Mr. Dub, the guy I just met earlier, I'm going to let you talk first, dude.
Hey, I want to ask y'all a question because I was sitting here thinking because Cuban had said something earlier and it made me think about something.
He does that.
You know how when we was at Shad's or whatever, y'all was talking about how Mario don't have like freshmen and like freshmen or whatever coming in playing. Do you think he actually got that from Nick Saban? Because you remember a lot of time Nick Saban don't necessarily play the younger guys. He always playing the juniors and the seniors, so he can actually build up his freshmen and sophomore, so that when they really start playing, they can make an impact in the game instead of going in the game having to learn on the fly. So that's a question to you. Well, actually, to all of y'all.
Well, I mean, I have to call a myth because who was Bama's best player this year? Caleb Downs, true freshman,
That's
right?
that's one guy in one year.
Who was their best O lineman this year? The guy that's going to that transferred out, right? A lot of the true freshmen that um Saban played, they were young. If you are a player, you're gonna play, right? Saban is not scared of playing. Think about all the receivers he brought in. The best ones were they played as true freshmen, right? They didn't play as juniors and seniors. Your O line and D line might be juniors and seniors, but everybody else is playing as a true freshman, right? So it's not he's not following the same. I don't know what model he's following because he's not playing it his players. I would understand your debate, but like I said on Shad's show, we're on year 3, and we have probably 3 players that are going to start on defense that are Mars recruits, right? And it's when is this quote unquote rebuild or new? I hate saying this term, the new Miami gonna kick in, because what it just seems like is just a rinse and repeat. We're gonna, find new players, and it's just to me, it's just disappointing.
Well, I mean, to Dub's point, the old school mentality was, you know, freshman, sophomore, you sit on the bench, you learn, and then, the juniors and seniors should be ready to go. And then as the juniors, seniors leave, then you just plug and play, et cetera, et cetera. And I think in this day and age, with the way college football is in 2023, 2024, you start to evolve into that, 2 years, as Cuban and Shad say. But, you know, it's it's just uncharted territory that we find ourselves in college football, in that, you know, you got people going, transferring here and there, yada, 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 as opposed to, you know, Dub, you commit to Miami. You know, you're going to probably be on the bench for your freshman or sophomore year. Hopefully, somebody leaves out and you can kind of get a little playing time. And then by your senior year, you know, you're out there on the field. But, you know, again, nowadays it's like it's a whole different ball game, you know.
Like, I mean, think about it. The Pat Surtain started. What's the quarterback for the Panthers? Started as a freshman, right? Henry started as a freshman. I don't see any, Julio, Judy, all these.
Cuban.
Yeah,
The thing about that is you got those special guys every blue moon to come through as a freshman and just dominate, just like Ruben Bain. But you don't have three, four, five of them on one team doing it at the same time.
but they're playing though. We don't have. I mean, it's year three. We don't. We still don't have majority of the Mario players playing yet. If you think about it, let's look at the offense, right? You have Maui Goa and number 73, I forgot his name, right? On the offensive line. And offensive line is his skill set.
Right.
Receivers, we don't have none of Mario receivers starting. Quarterback, we have none of Mario's receivers starting. Tight ends, we don't have Mario receive, and it's just like, when are his play? We're in year three now, Dub. It's not. We're not in year one or two. None of his players are impact players yet, and that's a huge problem, in my opinion. I got you thinking there, Dub. I
Yeah,
got you
you
thinking
do.
there.
You do. But at the same time, you got to look at it like this right here. I don't really, and it's just me. I don't really count Mario first year because he got there and really couldn't recruit. So I don't really count his first year. To me, this is his, going on his second year, whatever, because he came in late, recruiting was pretty much done, and stuff. So I'm getting that year pass. So, but I think this year you will see a lot of freshmen playing, not because they have to, because we could have got people out of the portal, to take up the slack or whatever. But I think we're gonna see a lot of freshmen. He gonna build a lot of freshmen up this year to, be the next Ruben Bain and other players and stuff.
Okay, so with that being said, earlier on, yesterday, right? You said that we were going to go 12-0, right?
I did.
So, are you going to go 12-0 with a bunch of young players?
I'm gonna say it. I know you're only saying that because we're on a different channel, but I'm gonna say it again. We might lose one game this year. So now it's on record. If everybody stay healthy, we might lose one game.
Well, I mean, to your defense, Dub, no disrespect, Cuban, but I mean, I guess it depends on your perspective. If you're looking from an offensive perspective, yeah, I would say the possibility of going 12-0 is there. But if you look from a defensive perspective, well, we just don't know. May go 12-0, may go 9-3. We don't know. Only because of the
Hey,
fact
hey,
we
hey
just
South Coast. I think I think if Cam is who they say he is, that's gonna be the difference right there. If he
oh,
is who they say he is, we're gonna be good.
and I agree. I agree with you, Dub. I agree with you.
Hold
The
on, but
only
Dub,
thing
I need
is,
one
you know,
question. One,
is okay, we don't know what the defense is going to do. No, I'm not saying the defense is crap. I'm not saying that, but what I'm just saying is we don't know what the defense can do. is the offense going to be able to overcome the unknown defense? In other words, no, I have no doubt. I have no doubt that the offense can score enough points to be 12-0. Okay, I'm with you on that. But can the defense stop the other teams to keep the offense from outscore? You see where I'm getting at? And I don't I really don't want to sound like a black cloud or a gray cloud or wherever y'all call Shad when he gets negative, but
That's
you
me.
know,
I'm negative.
but you know, I from an offense, if you look at the offense, yes, there is a potential for success, be it 10, 11, 12. But from if you look at the defense, because it's unknown, I don't know, man. You
Well,
know,
let me shoot this question back to Dub. What are Cam's expectations?
hmm,
It better it's play it's playoff or bust. It's
No,
no way around it.
numbers wise. What are you expecting from Cam, numbers wise?
I can't tell you because I don't know. I don't know how much actually gonna run the ball. Like
right,
we
right.
even though we got a um what is the offense what is the offense we running
The air raid, quote
yeah, the air
unquote.
raid. Even
Power
though
raid.
even though we got the air raid offense, it's more like running game first and then air raid second. So I can't say what his number gonna be, but I guarantee you he'll have at least 3,000 if he don't get hurt. He'll have at
Yeah,
least 3,000 yards passing and probably close to 1,000 rushing if he don't get hurt.
Right. So this is one thing that I always warn people about is like, because you said, oh, according to what his numbers are going to be, right? Nobody knows. These are things that people put out there. It's like we don't know how he's going to look at in our offense, right? He could be doo doo in our offense. We don't know, right? But what gets put out there is like, oh, he's expected to play good, but it's like is he going to throw 30 touchdowns and 5 interceptions? What does his numbers look like? Right? And that's the problem that I have is like things get repeated throughout social media and stuff like that with no actual factual or any proof behind it. And I just ask people what, just prove to me or what numbers you think are going this person or X person is going to produce. There's not a side at you, Dub. This is just one
Yeah,
of the things
I
that
know,
just
I know, I
annoys
know.
me.
now, before I let Bryce jump in, me personally, as long as the turnovers are next to zero, that'll be fine. If whether Cam throws for 3,000, 1,000, 500, 4,500, that's fine. But as long as offensively there's not as many turnovers and that if again, if the defense, I mean, I hate to keep harping on it, but we don't know about the defense. But as long as the defense isn't required to carry the offense and the offense tries to carry the defense, you just I'm getting at. In other words, we can't expect the defense to keep us in the game because we don't know. Now, as far as Cam Ward goes, as long as he goes 9 for 23, we're good. And he can dunk with the shirt on, we're good. All right, Bryce, talk to us, dude. Give us you've been listening patiently. So tell us what you think.
Yeah. So first things first. Number 73 on the offensive line. That's Inez Cooper.
And that's Cooper. Yeah, sorry.
Cooper.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, the thing that I was gonna say that I was talking to you, Jordan, is I'm curious as to see, you know, what are we gonna look like production wise? And what I mean by that is I'm gonna use this as an example. Look at Xavier Restrepo. Dude had a heck of a season. You know, was our leading receiver, and then you have right behind him Jacoby George.
Right.
Now, granted, TBD was the one that was under center,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
other than the bowl game.
Right.
Now you're bringing in a quarterback like Cam Ward, who is only going to have 1 year under this offensive system. He's going to have to learn
Mm-hmm.
how this playbook works.
Right.
So now you have a guy that's going to have to build chemistry with his receivers, his running back room, his offensive line, learn the playbook. And I'm not saying that he can't do all this because I know he can. And I'm not saying these coaches aren't going to teach him how to do this. It just makes me wonder, like, what our production is going to look like, you know, heading into the season. Because it was making me think, like, dang, man, I know Restrepo was like TVD's like safety blanket, but besides that, he had a heck of a season. Jacoby George was our second leading receiver. Then right behind him was Colby Young.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like, what's our wide receiver room production going to look like?
Hmm.
And then on top of that, are we going to use our tight ends at all? Yeah,
That's another good
Yeah,
question
that's
other
a
than
good
the
one. Yeah.
defense.
because like we got guys that can block. Cam McCormick. Um, but like the only time that we realistically got to see our tight ends actually get any production throughout this season was Boston College. That was it. So, and then I understand it's only his first year as our OC.
Third year.
Hey, let me ask.
This is
Let
his
me.
third year, by the way.
Who you talking about,
Whoa.
Dawson?
What?
The
Come on.
OC is third year.
No, Dawson is his second year.
Yes.
No, the OC is going
Second.
to be his third year. You know the OC is Jordan. Don't play with me, Jordan. You know who the OC is.
Oh, okay. I got you. I got you. I
The
got you.
OC's been here
I
3
got you.
years.
I got you. Come on.
Hey,
I,
Mirabelle.
I got you. I
I
got you.
got okay,
let me let
Cuban.
me let me ask
I was
y'all. Let me
slipping.
ask
I
y'all this
was slipping.
question. Do y'all think do y'all think Cam is going to throw the same type of interceptions that TVD threw when he had three people around the
Oof,
receiver instead of just taking off running?
that's a
No,
good one.
no, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well,
Well,
And the
Shad
only
had
and
brought a good question up on his show, Bryce,
what's up?
is and that is Cam going to play desperate or is he going to play within the system, right? Because he's playing for his NFL contract, so he cannot play it safe. So that's a good question that Dub City brought up because it's like we don't know if he's going to be aggressive or not, right? So that was a great question by Dub. Sorry,
Yeah,
Bryce.
no, you're good, man. You're good. I completely understand what you're saying. And I don't mean to make comparisons here with TVD and Cam. I feel like a good majority of the reasons why TVD threw as many interceptions that he did is because one, his injuries that he was dealing with. That's reason number one. To me, I think you can. Well, actually, no. Let me take that back.
You can always throw the ball away. You ain't got to throw it to somebody to the other
You're right.
team.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right. Let me take a step back. The problem that I think with TVD is that he didn't know how to read zone. To me, But I also feel like, whenever I think TVD would go through like his first progression, to again agree to disagree with me if you guys want. I feel like as soon as he makes that first read, that's where the ball is going. You know, with Cam, it's hard to say with Cam. Like I know Cam's got an issue with fumbling, but then again, that's because his offensive line at Washington State wasn't that great. So ball security is definitely going to be a big factor with him for sure. So, uh, Cuban,
Well,
you got to repeat that question again so that I can give a better answer on this.
in
Oh,
my opinion, we talked about this Wednesday and I talked about earlier, but you know, is Cam going to be his own worst enemy? And what I mean by that is the young man tries to be successful, and sometimes he may try too hard. And like Dub said, just throw it away. Don't try to, run around acting like you're the second coming of Michael Vick. Okay. If it's not there, throw it away. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think uh Cam may be trying to do too much, which could result in the sacks, the fumbles, etc. But it
I think the biggest thing is how is he gonna look under pressure?
right. And I mean, and the pressure that he experiences here at Miami, is it going to be the same type of pressure he experienced at Washington
Yeah.
State? I don't
Well, we'll
know.
find out game one.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Okay.
And it also it depends on what playbook does Dawson use with Cam Ward. Now again, it's only the 20th, yes, the 20th of January. Okay. We have what, 7 months, 7 months in a week. A lot can happen. You know, uh and yeah, faith to the third power, or F to the third power, faith, family, and football, for those who don't know. Yeah, Dawson is not famous for tight end usage. Okay. But we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Um, I think a lot of secrets, I shouldn't say secrets, but a lot of we'll learn. We are going to learn as fans. We're going to learn a lot about Mario, Dawson, etc. come the 2024 season. Uh Compared to what we just saw in 2023. Uh hopefully hopefully things evolve. Okay, hopefully we can use a little more tight end. Hopefully we do something other than throw to the tight ends or the wide receiver screen. Uh Hopefully we can kind of balance the pass and the run, you know, and you know, and hopefully hopefully he's as good as everybody hopes he is. And hopefully the defense is going to be as good as I hope they can be. Uh, it's I'm s- I, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm really getting sick and damn tired of sitting here in January, February, March, hoping for things instead of saying, based on this, we're going to do that. I mean, it just gets old school for us to sit here and say, well, I hope the defense based on this does something. I mean, I'm just ready to get back to Miami kicking ass in football, dude, and it's if I had to answer the question, I don't know. I just you just get tired of saying, well, I hope so.
But
You know what I mean?
you know what, South Coast. At least we asking questions.
Yes, yes.
Instead of saying exactly what we gonna do.
Right, right, right,
Like a
right,
lot of
right,
the Colorado fans and stuff, they gonna tell you exactly what they gonna do, and they ain't trying to hear nothing. You got at least we're
right,
asking
right,
questions.
right, right, right.
So
And yeah, I mean, and again, that's I mean, you're right, Dub City. I mean, we're asking the questions. We're all coming up with our own answers, our own opinions based on what we know or what we don't know, or we're hypothetically thinking this and that based on this and that. But that's what I like about this. Nobody is coming here saying, we're going to do this. This is what's going to happen. Come hell or high water, you
So
know?
yeah, so I have a question. So what is it going to take for us to be that dominant program again?
Well, one, we got to have a defense. We have got to have a kick ass defense. Okay. A consistent defense. We have got to have we have to have a good running game. And what I mean by running game is a rushing, if we can get over 100 yards rushing and then the running game complements and opens up the passing game, whether it be a wide receiver for 20 yards out or 60 yards out, or a tight end coming across the middle for like 10 yards. I guess everything has to complement everything. In other words, the running, the passing, the offense, the defense, the pass coverage, rush, the rush defense, it all has to complement everything, in which it also accentuates everything, if that makes any sense.
well, I'm gonna say we already started with the recruiting because it starts with the recruiting. If you can start getting the top classes and stuff, that actually make coaching a whole lot easier if you had a right coach. And I think we got the right coach as far as recruiting, but I don't think we got the right coach as far as coaching. If that makes sense.
Well, and
Well,
time will tell. I
well,
mean,
hold on. So let's look at Texas A&M, right? They had top recruiting classes and they had a top coach. So something was up. Yes,
I, 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 I gotta stop you, Cuban. I gotta
No,
stop you because when Jimbo Fisher was at LSU, he really didn't do that well. And then
he
when
was
he went
offensive
to
coordinator at LSU. He wasn't the head
right,
coach.
right, right. I know he was offensive coordinator, but he's still, you know, I mean, he had that one good year with, you know, Crab Leg Jones at quarterback, but
He had top recruits.
he
So
did. But they were giving him free crab legs. But the fact of the matter is, and nothing against Jimbo, but I mean,
Jimbo sucked, man.
no,
I'm just gonna say
but
it.
this is
Jimbo
my thing.
sucked.
But hold on. This is one thing. I'm going back to what combating what Dub said. You could have top recruits. Jimbo
right,
had top recruits at Florida State
right,
and at Texas A&M. It
hmm
does not matter if you're not
right,
coaching them.
right,
Who gives a damn,
right,
right?
right, right, right.
You have to be a good coach. If you're
Hmm.
not a good coach, you're going to struggle.
Right.
And I mean, I'm not saying we had best recruits, but Miami's has had the best recruits in the coastal, and we
Hmm.
always end up in fifth or sixth place, and that is
Right.
because we can't coach at Miami.
Or develop. Yes.
or develop.
All right, Bryce, jump in, dude. Get your
Yeah.
elbows out. Let's go.
Caleb's down going to Ohio State.
Yep.
That one, that's not shocking. And two, oh boy, man, I lost my train of thought. Okay,
It's okay. It happens on this channel.
all right, give me a refresher. What we're talking about here?
Dub
Uh,
said
uh,
that we're in the
yeah.
right track because Mario is recruiting well, and
Okay.
that is what's needed. And I'm like, I don't think because my whole debate was you could recruit well, but could you evaluate these recruits, right? So we could have a top 10 class, but are they the right top 10 class type players for this program, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you get the top offensive lineman that could weigh 260 pounds, and they're never going to develop in the system that we have. Or you could have this beast of a running back. Like one thing George said is we have the top wide receiver recruiting class, but are we going to use our receivers,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like what's the purpose of not the purpose of what's the plan?
Yeah. 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 No. Okay. I get where Dub City's coming from because recruiting is definitely important and development is definitely important because it's modern day college football. You have to recruit and you got to develop. Um, Coaching definitely does matter. Um, you know, and then talking about because I know we were talking about offense earlier. I go back to how Mario wants to run this offense, how he wants to, because Jordan was alluding to it, like power raid, how we want to like run the ball, and I mean run the damn ball instead of like passing it. And I'm all for running the ball, but like we got to get the ball to our receivers, man. I mean, we got to get the ball to our wide receivers. We got to get the ball to our tight ends. Like that's what opens up your offense. And the other thing that I was thinking about is our running back room. We got a lot of guys in that running back room that we don't even know are even going to get any touches, which is a little bit of a concern. Now I know we rotate our running backs, but we got some guys that are in there, like perfect example, like Travante Citizen, who's been dealing with an ACL injury, which I don't know why in the hell he didn't get any burn in the bowl game is beyond me. So, but then again, going back to what we are talking about here, though, coaching does matter. The biggest thing that I got to knock on with Mario is that, yeah, he can recruit.
I'm gonna say one more thing too, because I actually left this out. We got to find some playmakers because playmakers don't matter who the coach is, they're gonna go out there and ball.
Oh yeah. And I see Miss Katie Allman. She is definitely not a Mario sympathist, but uh let me put this up here. She said that she has said too much. This is my last comment. First off, you can never say too much on this show, Katie. You just hey, let it rip, girl. Just there's say as much as you want. She says we'll be 8-4, 7-5. We'll lose to FSU, Louisville, maybe UF, and two more. Mario will with his game day dumbassery. Hey, I won't argue with that because it's no secret that Mario can have deficiencies at game management. But look, Katie, remember just remember one thing, Katie. First, thank you for coming out tonight, and you can never say too much. Okay, you can just be yourself. But what I'm getting at is, I go back to what I said I think I said it earlier, and I said it the other night. In that, first off, Mario and the gang, they have to decide what is the identity of
Yep.
the team. They have to conquer and figure out the identity crisis. And what I mean is, again, okay, are they going to do a run first, pass second, or going to do balance, et cetera, et cetera? Okay, I'm not going to get into all the wherefores and wherethous, but they have to identify what their identity is. What do they want to achieve?
It's
What
it's
is
a
their
co-
utopian offense and defense?
it's a combination of a lot of those things.
Right,
Trying to figure out our identity on offense, our identity on
right,
defense,
right.
and I
Because
feel
I mean,
and I feel like we're slowly finding that identity, just not quick enough as we would like it to be. And then a
Bryce,
lot of
right.
that,
but hold on, Bryce, because this is something that what is, I mean, what is it? What do you think it is, Bryce?
me, honestly, bro, the way that I see it right now, because everybody wants to say, well, again, everyone wants to say, oh, Mario's handcuffing, Dawson. Well, we don't know that, and I'm not going to assume that he is or not. But you know, a lot of it does come down with decision making. Like
Do you think Mario is making Dawson call 50 screen passes a game?
Maybe not Mario, but maybe
N- n-
Maribel.
I think
not,
Mirabal is. I think Mirabal is telling him. I mean, because if you look at the offenses from Oregon till now, they're the same exact offense. Doesn't
yeah,
matter who the coordinator is, and
yeah,
the only one common denominator in there is Mirabal.
yeah, and it's like some of the decision making. It's like I don't get it. Like I don't mean to bring up last year, but like the Louisville game. Why were you not running the ball? We were running the ball pretty well. And then I don't mean to bring up the Georgia Tech game because we all like to forget that. Why are we running the ball and not taking a knee? You know, like it's some of these like bonehead, dumbass decision making that have cost us games, or just some questionable play calls that have cost us some games that definitely need to be better. Like you can't take your timeouts with you, dude. Like take your timeouts, but like makes take your timeout when you need to take your timeout. Otherwise, don't take it at all. You know, and
Yep.
just
Yep.
in the identity of what this team is supposed to be or is gonna be, we don't even really know. Because like,
Right.
Do
okay, you,
do
you have you have two identities. Like, okay, are we
do
gonna
y'all
be?
think the team this year is gonna be better than the team last year?
Yes.
Because we were a quarterback away last year from going 12-0.
I don't know about that.
We were a quarter.
And
We
well,
were a
and a
quarter,
little coaching mistakes or whatever, but we
Yeah. Yeah.
really could have went 12-0 last year.
and and I've
We would
said
have had a
this.
quarterback.
So I've
Well,
said
if
this.
you actually look at the games, we only really I actually only we only lost one game, and that one game was to North Carolina State. And the
Yeah,
rest of the game we actually won.
yeah. So I've said,
Hold on. Let me see something.
yeah, good.
Well, I was gonna bring up, and Shad made a good point earlier that last year, based on last year, we were a quarterback away from making last year 2023 successful.
And that's what I think too.
Right. But this year, this year, is it just a quarterback away, or do we add in the unknown of the defense? I mean, I don't know. I'm not. I'm not trying to argue, but you know, I I I, I I
So
don't know.
Hold
so
on.
You know,
Let's look at the schedule. Texas A&M, right?
yeah.
That
about
game,
last
yeah,
year,
last year,
2023.
yes.
Okay,
Last year, Texas A&M, we got them in the second half, right? Because they were beating us at halftime, but we won that game, right?
Mhm.
Georgia Tech, we should have won that game, right?
right.
North Carolina, we were up at halftime, we
But that's
lost
that's why
that
you
game.
play 12. I mean, 4 quarters though.
Yeah, yeah. No, I got you. Clemson game, we got lucky. We should not have won that game.
Well, but
just
but we had Emory in there. He
we
went
had
8 for
Emory. Yeah,
23. That
yeah.
was
So
national championship caliber quarterbacking.
that game went to overtime because conservative Mario.
Yeah, yeah.
Virginia, we barely won that game. Conservative
Yeah.
Mario. That could have
But
also been a loss.
but and then again, Virginia. I don't know what it is about Virginia, but them bastards, just like it's always a close game with Virginia. I think the last time Miami blew out Virginia was I can't even remember, but that's just one of those teams. But continue.
No, no, it's just because Dub said we could have went undefeated, but I'm like, there's
No,
also
no,
I'm
no,
teams
no,
we
no,
saying, yeah,
no,
we could
won.
have
no,
undefeated
no.
one, lost one game,
Yeah,
either or, however you want to
Yeah, but
put it.
you could also go the opposite way. We could have lost more games. These two overtime games we could have lost, right? It just went, it bounced our way, especially that Virginia game. I don't know how we beat Virginia.
but we did
Uh,
somehow.
But you got but you gotta say you can't say it like that because if that's the case, Alabama would have never made it to the playoffs because they should have lost to Georgia and they should have lost to Auburn. You
and
know,
they should have
luck
lost
is
to UCF,
yeah,
USF.
luck
Right.
is
Well,
part of the game. In close games, we won even though we didn't lose. So, like I said, a
right,
quarterback away is a good assessment from
right,
going
right, right.
undefeated. You
And,
know
and you're right, Dub. I mean, like, okay, like Georgia Tech. First off, Cheney was down. It wasn't a fumble, but regardless of the fact, it shouldn't
exactly.
have been in that position. They should have kneeled the ball. Okay, they should have done that. No
That,
questions
that
asked.
definitely was a
Okay,
safety against Florida State,
and there
which they
was a
didn't
safety
call.
against Florida State,
And
and
Clemson.
Clemson.
if yeah, and Clemson. Now, with Florida State, I've said it before. If they would have called the safety, I'm not saying it would have changed the outcome of the game, but it could have changed that moment of the game in that Miami would have got the ball back. Maybe they score a field goal. Maybe they score a touchdown. Who knows? But it could have changed the game. Not so much. It may have changed wins or losses. Who knows? North Carolina. Okay. If there wasn't a bad snap and it wasn't a turnover situation, and if the offense would have made of some adjustments, possibly. Uh the North Carolina State game. Again, these turnovers and the offensive play calling and stuff, I'm not saying that Miami would have gone undefeated or won 10 games or 11 games, but things could have been different.
Different,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Yeah, TVD was injured for after I don't know what happened after the bye week, but yeah, TVD was not 100%. If TVD is not 100%, you take him out, you put Jakari in, or I'm sorry, you put in Emory. Does things change? I don't know. But there are so many variables last year
Yeah.
that if you did this, this would have changed. It's hard to say. It was, dude, it was so dysfunctional last season. It's not even funny. It
No,
really
it
isn't.
it's not, and it's
And
funny, and it's funny because you and I have talked about this, Jordan. Like it's the story of last year, what could have been.
right. And I don't like dwelling into the land of if and would
No,
have and could have, but to look at the facts, you know, Now, I'm not trying, and I know Katie. I know Katie's a Mario fan. Just joking.
Like, but
But to
everything
go
she's
along with
saying is true though.
it is, to go along with Katie, you know, if I mean Mario's been doing this long enough, he should know A from B from X from Y, and I mean it it's to
It's a
me personally.
it's a question that we all would like to know why Mario does the things that he does, and we have no freaking idea.
Well, my question is, what the hell happened during the bye week last year? That's what I want to know. What
You,
happened?
you
What
know,
I
so
think
changed?
I
you
think
know,
Mario be drinking on the job, man.
Well, he
That,
has
that's
to. He
how he,
stays up. He
that's
stays up
that's how
24 hours.
he be active. Like
Well,
you
because
no,
know,
sometimes he
I,
look lost.
no. What I think happened after the Texas A&M game was the players they felt themselves a little bit too much. They were a little bit too happy. Oh, we beat an SEC team. One thing that I've noticed about this program, we don't know how to deal with success. Anytime we get a big win, it gets to our head, and then next thing you know, we're not playing good, right? This program, I keep dwelling on it, but this program needs a cleansing of something because the mentality is still not there. The players are not there. It's just not there yet.
and
So
and I
right.
agree, Cuban, because for so long, and I'm talking, this is going back, but I've always got the feeling that the team felt that, well, we're going to win because we're Miami, you know, and it's like, a lot of people feel like Miami plays down or up to their competition, but I think a lot of it is they go into the Georgia Techs, the Middle Tennessee States, thinking, well, we're Miami, we're going to win this, you know. Now of course, it all starts with it all starts at the top and works its way down. But, I we're just going to have to wait and see. I hate to say that, but we're just going to have to see
you know,
what what happens, what evolves, what adapts, what changes between, the pinstripe bowl and the spring
mhm.
game, and then we'll just have to go from there. So, I mean, oh my God, it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning here, 2 o'clock y'all's time. So, we're going to give some final thoughts. I mean, we all know what Miss Katie thinks. I like that. Miss Katie got some spunk about her. I like that. Ah, so I'm going to start with Dub and then go Bryce and then go Cuban. And I just want y'all to give your final takes as far as what you think about the whole situation at Miami, and what do you think, in your opinion, if you were head coach, or what's your opinion on what Miami needs to do to be successful in 2024? So the question is, start with Dub. What do you think about all this stuff going on? And then what would you do to change it for success next year? Go ahead.
Well, first I think it takes time to build a championship program. Nick Saban went to Alabama. He didn't win in his first, second, or whatever year.
He won second
So
year.
no, he did not.
He won the second year.
He did not.
We went to
Look
the
it up.
championship game his second year.
He
Excuse me.
did win.
At
Win.
Alabama. At Alabama. He went to
I'm
the
saying,
championship.
did he win a championship?
He went to the second. He went to the
Did he
he
win a
went.
championship?
Let me look it up. Let me look it up.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
But you keep
I,
But
talking.
I'm not taking sides, but I think that I thought it was like third or fourth year before he
yeah,
really.
I already know. I already
I
know
don't know.
South Coast. But but I think it take time to win a championship, and also I think we need to figure out our identity because without one, we gonna keep going through the same hoopla mess. We need to figure out what we want to do as a team, especially on offense. Either gonna be air raid or gonna be a power running game, something. We need to figure it out. And
His
what I
second
would
year, he
do,
went 12-0.
did he win a national championship?
He went 12-0. His second season ever with a victory over Clemson, number 9
When
Clemson,
when when was his first what
2008.
what year?
Well,
2008.
Hold
well,
on.
well. I think
What
I
He
know
started
what
at
what.
2000.
what year did he win his first championship in Alabama?
I'll tell you right now.
I mean, honestly, I really could care less about the Alabama, but I understand where Cuban's coming from. Dub, I understand where
2009.
you're coming
He
from.
left the Dolphins 2007 and won in 2009.
So he won it in 2009.
Wow.
But
Okay, well, so was it? Hold on. So this is my
That's
thing. I don't like when people compare Mario to
I
Kirby,
I wasn't
Saban.
I wasn't comparing. I just said it takes time to build a championship program.
Well, I guess.
well, I guess the moral of this story is don't use Nick Saban for anything.
Yeah, don't use Nick Saban for anything. I'm sorry, Doug. Go ahead.
but I
Well, I
understand
know,
where you're
right?
coming from.
I should have never brought his name up. I
You
should
got to be
have.
on your P's and Q's
Hey,
with Cuban now.
hey, Cuban, I apologize, sir.
That's okay. Now I love it, man. We
But
we need a
but
debate
like,
more often. I
hey,
like this.
but like I said, it takes time to build a championship program. But but yeah, I think, and if they don't get it done this year, I just think they needed, for what I would do in the future, I'll clean house because I'm not gonna pay somebody $8 million and they can't make it to the at least the playoff in 3 years. I'm not doing it.
I'm different. I think we should allow him 6 years.
Now, Cuban, the other day you said 12.
Well, no, 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 no.
Whoa.
No, I said 12. That's what the Canes media
Yeah,
people
yeah,
said,
yeah.
right?
I'm just being funny. Go ahead,
I,
go
I
ahead, go
was
ahead.
doing the calculation, but according to them, it's going to take 12 years for us to turn it around.
Right.
Um,
I hear
I
you.
I think it should be 6. It would have been 3 to 4 years if he didn't waste his time in the first 2 years. But let's just see. We all got to be, unfortunately, we all got to be patient. Um, you know, it's he needs his own quarterback. We're not gonna win a national championship with Cam, right? So until he has his quarterback, and if what is it, Luke Nickel, might
Nickelback.
yeah, maybe, but I don't think he's gonna stick with the class because Bama, Georgia, everybody else going after him. So I doubt he stays with his class. So until we get that quarterback, I just don't. I don't. Playoffs is nice, but who knows if we're still in the ACC, SEC, and like I said in Shad show, we're not ready. Our bodies are not ready for the SEC or none of that. So that's my 2 cents.
All right, Bryce, here's your chance, dude. What's your final parting shot? What do you think? And what do you think needs to happen for success in 2024?
Okay. So here's how I look at it. So obviously we know the playoffs are going to be expanded. That much we do know.
Yep. Yep.
So and before anybody jumps the gun, I'm not saying Miami's going to get into the playoffs. I'm not even thinking that far ahead. What Dub City said about finding an identity offensively and defensively, again, I feel like we're finding it, but slowly, but not at the pace that we should be finding it. Now, I don't think Cam Ward's going to lead us to the promised land. Do I think we can go and maybe, I say this very loosely, maybe compete for a conference championship? It's a possibility, but a lot of things got to happen though. So for me, this is kind of how I look at it. Can this team be a 9-win, 10-win team? It very well could be. But again, what we would talk about, defense has a lot of questions that need to be asked. Offensively, who's going to be our quarterback? Is it going to be Cam? Is it going to be JB? We don't know. We do know, but on one hand, we don't know. So for me, 2024, I think if you can get a 9-win season, this is my ceiling. A 9-win season, potentially maybe go compete for a conference championship, win a conference championship, and let's not even say we're going to go into the playoffs. And then let's say we go compete in a Year 6 bowl game, win a bowl game, which we have not done since 2016, then I could say 2024 would be a step in the right direction. Now, here's my floor. If you have another season like we did last year, where we finish around 7-5, maybe close to an 8-win season, go to another bowl game and lose another bowl game, and not to mention who knows where we're going to be at from a health standpoint and the players that are going to be in the draft, you're still going to have questions there, So for me, I think for Mario and the staff, we need to take it up another notch. And the other thing, because I know we were talking about the bye week, we got to figure out somehow, some way to break that goddamn bye week curse, because our record coming out of bye weeks is freaking terrible. It's terrible. I don't know what the hell we are doing in the bye week. You have 2 weeks. 2 weeks, if I'm correct on that, to prepare for a game against whatever team it is that you got to go prepare for, and you're telling me you're not prepared. That's a coaching problem if you're not preparing your players correctly, and that's probably on the players as well. So, but I don't know, man. It's hard to say, what kind of team that we're going to get in 2024 because it's too early to say. I think this team could be good. I do, but there's a lot of question marks that need to be answered, and the biggest thing is that we need to see on-field results. That's what it comes down to. We play in a conference. If you want to think about it, it's not that hard. It's not really that hard of a conference. Yeah, we have SMU in our conference, Cal and Stafford, Stanford. So, are there some games that we have this year that are probably going to be a little bit tough? Yes. Are there games that we should win? Yes. So a lot of it does come down to, can Mario become a better game day coach? Are we going to, run the ball, spread it, use our tight ends? Is he going to start some of the older guys? Is he going to start some of the younger guys? Again, these are questions that, that I think a lot of us would love to have the answers to, but we don't have it right now. So we're going to find out come springtime and fall camp, and then when we actually get into the game, again, my expectations for 2024, you know, I'm cautiously optimistic because I think we can have a good season, but at the same time, I don't want to jump the gun here too, but we're gonna find out. And then, as far as how long I'm gonna give Mario here in terms of being a head coach, I kind of side with Cuban Kane. I think you give him a little bit more time. His first year did pan out the way that we thought it was going to go to. You know, and I know a lot of us would like to forget his first year because it was a shit show. Year two under him, I don't want to say it was a terrible season, but it was a small step forward. Now year three, like okay, we lost games closely, other than you could count out probably NC State and North Carolina, even though we lost to North Carolina by 10 points because we made a late push. But we got destroyed like in the third, I think the third quarter against North Carolina. So now the question is like, okay, you finished the season 7-6. You didn't really do that great in ACC play. How are you going to improve on these things? You know, these are things that you got to get better as a coach, and these players got to take accountability as well. You know, like the other thing that I don't know if we even talked about is like discipline. Some of these bonehead stupid mistakes, and I don't mean to single out Jacoby George here, but like we need to have these players got to be more disciplined. You're costing your team yardage here. Especially in big time games, that hurts. You want to win these big time games. Stop doing stupid crap on the field. Play the next play. So there's a lot of things that we got to get better at, clean up, and that's already self-explanatory. Again, I think this team could be good in 2024, but there's a lot of questions that need to be asked.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Cuban, your turn.
Oh, I don't have anything. I was nodding off here. So sorry.
Hey,
Wow.
hey,
Cuban
Sarko,
didn't have anything.
Sarko, I got one more thing I want to say,
Go ahead. Go ahead, Dub.
and I want Cuba King. I want y'all to answer this question. Well,
Okay.
actually, I want y'all to think about it before you answer it or whatever. The last time I checked, offensive lineman never made a good coach. So what makes and that's why I'm saying that I'm only gonna give Mario 3 years. I'm not gonna give him 12. Now you might have an offensive line, coach, well, offensive lineman and coach is what I'm saying. You might have one come in and accidentally win like Orgeron did, but you see he didn't have a job long. I think Mario get 3 years because we know he ain't gonna do nothing after 3 years. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, the thing about Orgeron, he couldn't leave the ladies alone, but that's a different story. I understand what you're saying. Now, in my opinion, it's basically okay. Does Mario know what the identity of this team is going to be? Uh, I would hope so. He's the head coach. The buck stops with him. Uh, is hang on, Cuban. Don't get conspiracy theory, but you know, regardless of what's going on, Dawson needs to run the offense or coordinate the offense, and Gidry needs to coordinate the defense. Uh, I don't know. I don't know what Mario's plan was. You know, this is his third year. I don't know what his 3-year goal was when he first got here. I don't. maybe ride around in helicopters in the snow, but it all comes down to what I did. I hate to keep saying it, but Miami Mario has to figure out the identity for his team. Okay. And if Mario or Shannon or whoever if they need help, go right up the road to Miami Gardens, speak with some of the Dolphins staff, ask them for some coaching consulting, reach out for help if you're not sure. Okay. Uh, if you need help, there's no shame in asking for help. And I'm not saying that McDaniel and all them have the answers, but I'm just saying, you know, do something. Okay. Um, I would really, oh man, I would love to I'd love to be the fly on the wall in the coaches' meetings behind closed doors, just to find out what is the logic behind this dysfunction that we're seeing. Uh, and again, we all have our opinions. We all see what we see on the field. Everybody's right, everybody's wrong. Ah, but man, I'm a lot of people have been saying, well, maybe next year, maybe next year, maybe next year. They probably only been saying it for 22 years, 20 years. But I got spoiled in the 80s. All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. I got spoiled. And then the 90s hit. Yeah. Then the 2000s, I'm like, well, shit, that wasn't no big deal. And here we are. Now, Mario makes some dumbass decisions. I'm not going to lie. He makes some dumbass decisions. Game time, game decisions. So, in the grand scheme of things, it probably doesn't really matter what I think. Doesn't matter really what I say because it's not going to have a rat's ass difference or any influence on what happens on the field. But, you know, eh, something, you know, eh, hopefully there's a little bit of progression this year. Uh, maybe things get a little better next year and it just, gets better as time goes on. But, you know, I said it, I said it on Shad's show, but Dawson's just right. He's from right 20 miles up the road from me to the north. And dude, I want to just go up there. It's like, dude, what's going on? What is the deal? You know, is it really Mirabal calling the plays? Is Mario telling you, I'm the boss, I make the rules, I make the call. Yeah, I just would like to know what the logical thinking is behind this dysfunction that we see on the field. I don't get it, you know. But it's kind of like when you see that movie and it has the crazy ending, you have to wait for the sequel to kind of figure out what the hell is going on. But until then, but until then, we have is the fellowship of us. All we have is the opinions of us, you know. And hopefully, I hate to keep harping, but hopefully Miss Katie Allman doesn't get a job in the HR department at the University of Miami because Mario
He
will be
fried
gone.
everybody.
And look, and again, Katie, look, don't ever apologize for your opinion. you speak your mind. Everybody is welcome to speak your mind. You're not going to offend anybody. That's why we do this, you know. But hopefully, Cuban Kane's still awake. But
I'm here.
anyway, I know you are. I'm just being funny. So look, guys, I appreciate it. Uh, it's been a long night. Like I said, I was on Shad's show. I appreciated the opportunity. I enjoyed Shad's show, but there was just some more stuff I needed to talk about. And I just had this feeling that Dub City needed to say some more. And, Cuban's never short of words. I just felt like I just feel like we needed the extended remix of the Shad show. You know what I mean? We just had some more to talk about. But anyway, Dub City, again, for like the 10th time. Glad to have you here. Glad to meet you. Uh, you seem to be a very good guy. I like it. Cuban, as always, I like you. And
Yes, sir.
Bryce, statistician, thank you for staying up late with me. I like you. I like you. You're one of the founding fathers. So with that being said, thank you to Miss Katie. I hate to keep harping on you, Miss Katie, but you are new to the jungle. Shad, thank you for just being Shad. Uh I'm assuming Faith Family and Football is left, but thank you for coming by. Miss Ellen, you're probably sound asleep because you're not gonna look good with all those bags under your eyes. And I know the Coach Hayes was here. But again, thank y'all for staying up late. You know, thank y'all for spending your evening with me. I know it's Friday night. Whether you just got paid or not, it's still Friday night. Thank y'all. So, uh, we're gonna get on out of here, and you know how it goes. Peace, love, and soul. Go Canes.
Y'all take it
All
easy.
All
it's
right.
always
Good
about
night.
the you, and it's always about you. So thank y'all so much. We're gonna catch y'all on the next time. Y'all have a good night.